Imagine a journey so deadly that millions never reached their destination. This was the reality of the Middle Passage, the horrific voyage that carried enslaved Africans across the Atlantic. It wasn't just a trip. It was a calculated system of terror designed for maximum profit, not human survival. Between the 16th and 19th centuries, historians estimate that about 12.5 million Africans were forced onto slave ships. Think about that number? Now consider this. Between 10 and 15% of them died during the crossing. That's nearly 2 million lives lost at sea. In the early days of the trade, the death toll was even higher, sometimes reaching a staggering 25% on a single voyage. So, what made this journey so lethal? First, the conditions were unimaginable. People were packed into dark, suffocating cargo holds, often with less than 2 feet of headroom. They were chained together, lying shoulder to shoulder in their own filth for weeks, sometimes months. Standing up wasn't an option. Disease was rampant. In these cramped, unsanitary spaces, illnesses like dysentery, smallpox, and measles spread like wildfire. Dehydration and starvation were constant threats, as food and water were rationed to the bare minimum needed for survival, and sometimes not even that. Then there was the violence. Beatings and brutal punishments were routine. Anyone who resisted faced execution. The psychological torment was so intense that many chose to end their own lives rather than endure enslavement. Shockingly, these deaths were often factored into the business model. Slave traders treated human beings as cargo, even taking out insurance policies on their lives. In one of the most infamous examples, the Zong massacre, the ship's captain ordered more than 130 sick Africans to be thrown overboard, simply to collect the insurance money. Over time, mortality rates did decrease slightly. But this wasn't due to a sudden wave of compassion. It was because the value of enslaved people had increased, making each life more profitable. Survival of the Middle Passage wasn't the end of the ordeal. It was just the beginning of a life in bondage. These ships carried more than people. They carried a legacy of loss and trauma that the world is still coming to terms with today.
Thanks for watching.
If you found this video informative, please consider subscribing for more historical deep dives.